Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Get to Know UIC, Get to Know United in Christ. Today, I have the absolute joy to be joined by none other than Mary Lou. Mary Lou, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning. This is excellent. Now, Mary Lou, for folks who maybe haven't gotten to know you quite in the midst of life at the congregation yet, remind us, how long have you been connected with United in Christ at this point?
Well, actually, 12 years, about 12 years this month. I came out there first with Mac, and I knew quite a few people because my mother's side of the family was out there in that area.
Okay.
And they all went across the street to that church.
Ah, yes.
And then some of the people in our church are married to my cousins. So there's a combination there. And the first time I left church with Mac, he said, "You know more people than I do." And his family came from the New Columbia Church.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
He didn't grow up out there.
Sure.
So yeah, that was funny. He said, "You know more people than I do."
That makes it easy to feel like you're just at home then, doesn't it?
Yeah. So way back when, but I belonged to my church and I sang in the choir, so I couldn't come out there as often.
Sure.
And so I would come only when we didn't sing.
Yeah.
So now that my church is gone, now I will be a part of your church.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and I think that was such a cool thing because when I started at United Christ, I loved this negotiated balance you had with Mac. That one Sunday you guys came over to United in Christ, and the other Sunday you were at St. John's to be a part of both communities, right? And to be fully a part of. I thought that was just the neatest thing.
Well, he actually had cousins at my church.
Okay.
He had relatives at my church.
So you were both just like cross-pollinating on all fronts there.
So it made it easy.
That's very cool. And for the folks who don't know, you've been connected with us, as you said, 12 years now, right? That you've been kind of coming and being a part of United in Christ. But we are just now making it like real official, right? You are one of the group of 10 new members we have that are ready to join.
I was just disappointed that we didn't get to do it on Palm Sunday.
I was too. That would have been so cool. Well,
I know, that's special.
It just gives us a cause for more celebration at another point. So we'll just do. We could do Palm Sunday over again. You just want to do Palm Sunday over again?
Sure, we could. Do you have any palms?
Oh yeah, we can have palms. We got a bunch of trees. We can just cut down some branches. That would be the same thing.
No, it doesn't matter. It'll still be the same. It was just a little disappointing, but It doesn't mean it's the end of the world.
Right, and it's still the same folks who are excited to have you for sure. Right, and that'll be a cool thing. But so what was it then? 12 years ago, right? You started coming with Mac. What brought you to United in Christ? What was it about this place that made you say, "Oh, we should go try that"? Or Mac had already been connected with the congregation.
I've been connected there, and then I came with him, but I always felt apart. I mean, I think it's a combination of your people and people outside coming there. I think it takes both that are willing to mesh, because the people out there are very welcoming, but also the people coming are looking for that and they're like on the same waves to belong to it, to join in with it.
Yeah. There's something, I think there's something natural. I say that's a gift of the congregation. There's something natural about the ways in which they are just like always ready to like start welcoming and including new folks, right? It doesn't matter if you've been there for 15 years or 15 days. They are ready to just kind of make you feel at home and a natural part of that community, right?
Yes.
I think that's such a cool thing.
Yeah, I knew once my church was going to go away. I knew where I was going. Didn't have to go.
And I wish I'm so grateful that in the midst of that heartache of losing a community of faith like that, I'm grateful that we can be a new place for you, right? I'm grateful that you already had this relationship with this community built up to be able to say, well, this is the natural place for us to go now. I'm very glad for that.
Well, and I was also familiar with the Lutheran side because in California, they didn't have my church. So for 33 years, I went to Lutheran in California.
There you go. So now remind me, what was it that took you out to California for 33 years in the first place?
I'm a
you're a what now?
A venture child.
A venture child, that's right.
So a girlfriend and I threw everything we owned and threw it in the car and drove to California.
That's wild.
Now, she had a sister there. I didn't know them, but she had a sister there. And then we stayed with them like a month until we got jobs and stuff. And she
Wow.
came back. She never liked it out there, and she came back. But I got involved in the bowling with our company. I worked for Bank of America,
Okay.
and I got involved in a lot of things. I was a governor in their club and bowling, and we bowled statewide. We bowled all over the place, and then I worked 15 years with the Rose Parade.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I did that.
That's so
So there
cool.
was a lot there. I enjoyed that, but my friend did not. So she
Mm,
ended up coming back.
sure.
But I stayed until I lost my job. And when I lost my job with the bank, before I lost it, I went to be a massage therapist.
That's right.
My brother and sister were both paramedics, volunteer paramedics,
Wow.
but I couldn't stand blood and guts. So I said, what else can I do? And a friend of mine drugged me to get a massage. And I said, oh, this is it. This is what I can do.
There you
So when
go.
the job kept dwindling away. So before I lost the job, I had become a massage
Wow,
therapist.
very cool. Yeah, you get to work on people still, but while they're still together and healthy and
Yeah,
in a good way, then that's when you get to
yeah,
work.
yeah. No blood and guts.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. That's so cool. That's so very cool. So then it was when you came back to the East Coast then that you got reconnected. That you connected with United in Christ and with Mac, of course. Then, right?
Right, right.
Very cool.
Hmm.
Oh, that's so cool.
He actually graduated with my brother.
Okay,
They put us together.
there
And
you
then
go.
I did massage at the nursing home here when I
Nice.
first came back here.
Oh, that's so
So I did
cool.
that for 10 years.
Wow,
10
wow.
years.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, so clearly it's been a while that you've been connected with the congregation, right? And
Yes.
it's cool to hear that these communities of faith have been anchors for you in all of these different places. But what is it about now? What is it now about United in Christ that makes this a place you want to come back to, right? That makes you want to continue being a part of this community and this congregation.
Just working together with, I hadn't done a lot of things. I had helped with the Harvest Festival
Oh, sure,
before. I
sure.
hadn't done a whole lot of things, but it was so much fun when we did that pancake.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
great was
supper.
that?
And everybody, it's just so neat to work with people. I'm always willing to help. And people didn't say, you do this, you do that, or didn't like what you were doing. Everybody just picked a job and did it. It
Yeah,
was,
I got a
you
spatula.
know,
Guess I'm flipping now, right? Like,
I was the bacon lady. I was the
nice,
pancake lady. I mean, I got all kinds. It
awesome.
was really fun. It was fun. And it's just the closeness and working together that they do there that
Yeah.
just seems to draw you. And I want to be a part of it.
Exactly,
I want to be
exactly.
a part of it.
That's so cool. That's so cool to hear, right? That there's not only do you have an earnest desire to want to be included in that, but like the community is just ready to get you included, right? Like you show up, here's your spatula, right? You
Yeah.
show up, here's your tongs, start flipping bacon, right? Like whatever it is, like, and that's just such a
Yeah.
cool and natural thing, and that's so worth celebrating. I think that's beautiful. So then so what is it then as you kind of look at the high points over the year or the ministries that take place in the congregation, where is it that you see God on the move? What is it that excites you about ministry at United in Christ, or what opportunities does the congregation kind of provide that you think are things you can't miss out on?
I leave it in God's hands and I
Yeah.
let him guide me to things. Some things, like even doing this, is not my normal thing to do. Uh, I'm a behinds goofer offer.
You're a professional
Yeah,
peanut gallery.
yeah, don't put me on stage. That's not my thing. And so, I leave things in God's hands
Yeah.
to get me to do things outside of my reach. And
Yeah.
so some of the things that I want to do at the church, that's where he's leading me to do.
It's a little bit of a stretch, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's very
And I don't
fair.
think you're ever too old to be doing that.
I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on, right? And I think that's something that like the congregation as a whole values too, right? Like we kind of like to stretch ourselves. To
Hmm.
try to figure out like maybe this isn't what we've always done and maybe this is a weird way of doing it, but like let's try it, right? Maybe we haven't done online worship. Maybe we don't often do Q&As to really get to know people one on one, but we're going to challenge ourselves and maybe stretch a little bit to see what we can do with it, right? I think that's so cool.
Some of the churches don't do that. They don't want to expand. They want to keep it exactly the same way.
Right.
And then you got the fight of the people that want to do one way and want to do another way. And,
Yeah.
that's just, I don't want to go somewhere where you're battling over things like that. That's
Mm.
not what us to be doing.
Yeah.
We need to be working together and accomplishing something. And I don't feel you accomplish much when you do that.
Sure, sure. When the biggest bickering is over paint colors and carpet colors, right? Like,
Oh yeah,
what's the point then,
yeah.
right? There are bigger fish to fry in God's kingdom, and I'd rather have the harder conversations around those things. Yeah, I'm with you there. That's so cool. That's so cool. So then in being connected with this community, in sharing this kind of life together among United in Christ over these years, what has that looked like, and what has that meant for you? What has it meant for you in your own life to be surrounded by this community and to be taking part in it over these past 12 years or so now?
Well, yeah, I just feel, how do I feel? I just feel really a part of them,
Yeah,
and that they would be there for me if I needed something. And
absolutely.
I try to, just like I just did, cards to people in nursing homes and stuff
Nice.
like that, because I know how important that is for them
Yeah,
when they're there and nobody can visit them,
right,
and
right.
stuff like that. That's got to be really hard. And I'm
Absolutely.
always trying to look at others to do, and I see that in your church as far as they do for others.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so that just makes you feel more of a part, to
Yeah,
be able to be a part of that and feel that, okay, if I really needed something, I could call any one of them probably and they would come.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. Cuz
and especially when you're by yourself. Now I do have a brother and some nieces in town,
yeah.
but when you're by yourself, you need to find people that can do for you if you need it.
Right, right,
Yeah,
exactly. There's just something beautiful about knowing that like you're not alone in this, right?
right.
And that there is a community who is there for you and is ready to show up for you in whatever that looks like, whether it's
Mhm,
greeting cards or packages on the doorstep or whatever. Just to know
mhm.
that there are, oh, that's so good. That's so very very cool. I'm glad you have found that with this community.
Well, and when we were just on a little bit of when we were in Arizona and Mac had his, uh, yeah, brain cancer
Yeah,
that we had to stay there for, the church made him a, um, little quilt, you
nice.
know, and
Yes,
that meant so much to him.
I
And it
believe
was,
that.
yeah, a little thing,
Yeah,
such a little thing. And they sent it to us out there.
that's
I mean,
beautiful.
little things like that just mean a lot to people.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. And they are just those, then they become those tangible reminders of like, we're not alone, right? We are in this together. God has provided a community and God is moving among this community to make sure that we know we are not alone, right? And
Yeah.
that's so cool. I'm so glad you've been able to find that with this community. That's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, so then as you kind of think about the future and as you think about where God is kind of challenging and maybe stretching United in Christ a little bit and maybe even stretching you a little bit in the midst of it is as we talk through a digital airwaves, right? But where is it that you find that or rather what do you think what are your hopes and dreams for this congregation? Where do you think God is calling this congregation into God's future?
Well, I'm hoping that to grow more,
Sure.
that we can get the word out to get more people to
To
come
come be a
join
part of
us.
this. Yeah.
Yes. And that's always an exciting thing.
Absolutely.
So, just now that I'm able to get my feet wet and get in there,
Yeah.
then I'll figure out what I can do
Yeah,
to,
you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. People better like they better batten down the hatches because here comes Mary Lou.
yeah, look out. So, yeah, I'm like the bull in China,
Yeah, there's no stopping you.
So, things like that. I would like the church to grow, and I think we're headed that way. It
Yeah,
appears to me we're headed that way.
yeah. I think we're on a good pace, and but it's about making sure that when we do that, we are including naturally and organically, right? To let folks know that like this is what the value we find in this community is, and if you're ready to be a part of that, boy, we're ready to welcome you. All right.
I'll do.
Yeah, absolutely,
I'll
absolutely.
do whatever.
That's right. Very, very cool. Well, excellent. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for this time together. But before we go, I give everyone a chance, Mary Lou. So this is your moment.
Uh-oh.
Anything you want to share with the congregation? Anything you want to share with folks listening at home? Any Mary Lou words of wisdom you want to pass on to folks? This is your opportunity
So,
to share.
I don't know about wisdom, but I miss everybody, and I just can't wait till we can all be back together. And I just so enjoy that you have done this to keep us somewhat together.
Sure.
I think that's very important
I'm
because if you don't have a connection, we're doing a long time here that you're thinking people are not going to come back,
right.
you
Right.
know,
This,
and that's a scary part.
it
That's a
is. It
right
is.
now.
It certainly is.
Uh,
And we don't know what that looks like. We don't know how long this will be. We don't know what it's
no,
going to look like when we come back together because it's probably not going to look exactly the same as it was before. But we're going to learn it and we're going to move through it together. Right. And I think there's confidence we can take in that from all of you've described about this community and the authentic ways it relates to each other. I think this is a community that can do so together, right?
yeah, I have no doubt that we
Yeah,
won't.
yeah. We're not going to leave anyone behind in the midst of this. We don't know what it's going to look like, but rest assured, we're gonna get there, and it's just going to take some time. So excellent. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And this has been wonderful. To everyone else at home, God's continued peace and blessings in the days ahead. Thanks for tuning in. Again, Mary Lou, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Our
See
pleasure.
y'all.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Bye for now.
Bye.